Wowzers, that is really close to my face. Hey, howdy, hello, welcome to this channel, my channel. Welcome to the shit show. That's what I should call it. Welcome to the fucking shit show. Welcome back, you guys. If you guys saw my first ever like rant, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing on this channel. Like, it's just me ranting about life. It has become just like a ranty session slash your big sister's trying to give you some advice if you're younger, and if you are older than me and have gone through it, then you could give me some advice because your girl really motherfucking needs it. So as you guys saw from the title, your girl recently turned 20 motherfucking 6. Yes, 26. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, she really don't know how to feel about it. Like, honestly, like, I used to think that I was never gonna make it through 18. I know that's a little dark, you know, she's always starting it on a dark moment. I'm sorry if I keep turning it into a dark moment. I promise the whole video won't not be a dark moment, but I honestly didn't think I was gonna live past 18. And yeah, so for me, growing up was really difficult. Like, going from like teenager child, my parents taking care of me, to like being an adult that could stand on their own 2 feet has been extremely motherfucking difficult for me. And I know for like a lot of people that's not a difficulty at all, and for others it is, you know, for others it is. And I've always worked. I've never like not worked. I've always worked. It's just the fact that like being alone, or like not being alone, but like making it out on my own has always terrified me. I'm like, what about if I can't make it? What about if I have to come back, and this and this and that? And always that thought like in the back of my head. And I think that's what like also stops me a lot. Yeah, it's, I guess you could say that that's like one of my biggest failures, like as an adult, you know. She turned 26, but also I feel like there's so much pressure when you're in your 20s. Like, I feel like it's something that nobody talks about, like, or maybe they do and I just don't like pay attention to it because I'm like always like in my own sob story. But I feel that there's a lot of things that they didn't teach us as like young adults, or like as like gonna turn into an adult. There's a lot of things that they don't teach us. There's a lot of fucking bullshit nonsense that they teach us in school. Like the fact that schools teach us how to like do algebra. And I'm never gonna use algebra in my life. Like, when am I gonna go to a store or like do my taxes with my equals to, what was it, mx plus b? Y equals to mx plus b. When the hell am I gonna use that? When? Like, it's up here, but it's just wasting space. Like, there's like, somebody should have taught me how to do my taxes. Somebody should have taught me how to like, you know, save. Somebody should have told me all these saving options that there is at the banks, like the K1s, the K somethings. I don't even know. Like, see, that's the problem. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know about all of that. And you could be like, oh, like that's something that your parents should have taught you. Yeah, but like, the reason that there's school is to teach you things that they thought that your parents weren't able to teach you. Therefore, if I spend 8 hours of my day at school, 8+ hours, because if you do curriculum, you don't even get home until like 10+ hours. If I'm there 24/7, then why the hell will my parents teach me if they're like relying on the school to do it? Like, I know that that's like a bad thing to think of, like, but it's in all honesty, that is the truth for a lot of us. That, you know, you're like, oh, like they're gonna teach you like the important stuff and whatnot, but no, they don't end up teaching you the important stuff. They end up teaching you a bunch of garbage. So
hello guys, editing Vanessa here. I just want to say, like, if I'm going to spend so much time in school, please teach us something that we're actually going to use in real life, because me learning about physics and me learning about algebra is just a bunch of wasted time. Like, you wasted so much time of my life when you could have taught me something that could have been useful in my life, and I stand by that.
yeah, and that's something that I've always like been like, well, like I wish that this would have happened. And then also the fact that, I don't know if it's just me, but what was I gonna say? Oh my god, I totally like brain fart. Now, another thing, in my culture, like the reason that I feel like such a failure as a 26-year-old, is that at my age I should already at least have 2 kids and a husband, and I got neither. So that has always been like such a big topic, like, girl, like, why don't you have kids, like, you should already have kids, blah blah blah. Especially like in the Hispanic culture, or like in my case the Mexican culture. I should already have kids and have like a husband and a home, and I don't even have a boyfriend. I feel like I don't have a boyfriend because I've always been the type of person that has been too self-conscious, has been too like nobody's ever gonna like me, you know. But also been the type of person that I'm like, I need to finish my career and I need to finish all my goals before I could even commit to another person that already has his own goals and probably is working on their own career. So therefore, for me, it's always been like, oh, like, maybe when I finish my career, or maybe when I do this, or maybe when I do that. And I personally don't really want children right now, and I know it's a lot of shocker for like a lot of people, especially in the Hispanic community, for somebody not to want to have kids currently. I feel like if you're like Mexican American or Hispanic American or Latina American or Latino American or Latinx American, then you could probably understand more. But when most of my family like is in Mexico, therefore a lot of them don't understand why I don't want to have kids or like a relationship right now. Like, there's so many things that I put out for myself and like goals that I want to accomplish. And I feel like if I have a boyfriend, he's probably gonna stop me from doing them, and not because, you know, they're I think men are evil and they don't want women to succeed. Absolutely not. But what I want would cause a separation. And I'm gonna put it out there, I want to do teaching abroad. I would love to teach in Korea, and I would really, that has always been my goal. It has been my goal for a while now. It has been my goal for several years now. Therefore, I don't plan on changing that, especially not for a relationship. And I know that sounds really bad, but I'm currently not in a relationship, so maybe it's like a little different when you are in one. But for me, it's like I don't want to jeopardize my own goal, my own dream for a relationship. And I know that there's a lot of people that are like, well, they'll wait for you, or they'll, like, you know, they'll go with you, or da 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 da. And I'm like, why am I gonna be in a relationship when all I'm gonna do is stress the person out, have to change that person so that they could accommodate what I want? I just don't think it's fair. And I am a very realistic person that I'm like, I shouldn't have one right now. Also with kids, I mean, kids are not even a question right now. Like, the fact that I want to like move countries, what makes people think that I want to have a kid? Like, I don't want one. I think they're very, very cute. I have a niece, and my niece is the most adorable human being and the most adorable, funniest little creature ever to ever exist. But I love having her for a little while. You know, like, I don't have the responsibility of taking her like with me everywhere, or like, and then I'm not saying that I'm not capable of taking care of a child. Like, I'm 100% capable of taking a child. Like, I know that I will be a fantastic mother. And I feel like a very motherly instinct, and everybody's like, well, you're so good with kids, like, kids love you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's great, but you also have to understand, as a responsible person and as a responsible parent, that the child is gonna take a lot of your time, a lot of your effort, a lot of your like capabilities. Also, I want to be like 100% emotionally stable for that child. Like, hello? Okay, that's why a lot of us need to go to therapy. Because our parents were not ready to be parents. Okay? Sorry if you guys keep hearing the like. It's because it's this little like beanbag chair, and I thought it would be cute for me to sit here because I always sit over there. And I just realized that this thing is making a lot of noise. So, not a very good idea. Probably never gonna record here. But anyways, that's like one of the bigger factors of like why I don't have a boyfriend. And like, not that I'm like justifying myself, but I'm just like also letting people know that like if you're 26 or like older, You don't necessarily need to have like a relationship or like, you know, start establishing your family unless that's something that you really, really want. If you don't want it, you shouldn't feel ashamed. I feel sometimes a lot of pressure from like family members that are like, you should have a kid, you should have a kid, and I don't know what. And I'm just like, I'm sorry to disappoint, but I'm not giving you a baby. Like, you know, because at the end of the day, they're not the ones that are gonna take care of the baby. They're not the ones that are gonna like take care of your relationship. You know, you have to be ready. And I want to be like super like highly I don't want to fuck up my kid. You know, I don't know. I do want to be a mom. I really, really do. But I think that's something that I'll do like in my 30s. I don't think that that's something I'll do in my 20s. And I will like to have a relationship once I'm like more stable, more like, okay, like I finished this goal, check, like I'm in a place where I'm happy and I've achieved something. Like if a person comes into my life and they have their own ideas, that I'm more willing to compromise, because right now I know and 100% know that I'm not willing to compromise my ideas. And I think that's like also I have to like pat myself on the back, because it's like the mature thing to do. And I know that for a lot of people, like acknowledging your own maturity might be something that's like bad, or that it might be like not so like, oh my god, you sound like a narcissist. Like, no, it's not that I'm not a narcissist. It's that I've gotten to a point in my life where I know when I'm being mature and when I'm not. And it would be very mature of me being like, oh, it's because I'm so lonely and I think it would be so cute to have like a boyfriend so that I could put him on Instagram and we could be so cute. Or I'll love to have a boyfriend that like buys me Starbucks while I'm working. Like, don't you think I want that? Like, don't you think I want somebody to call and be like, babe, like all these things happen, and like rant about it to them? Because it's not like, just as much as I could rant about it with my friends, there's always like that extra special bond between you and your partner, because that partner loves you and that partner cares for you and wants to truly know. My friends are like, bitch, I fucking love you, but I got my own shit, like I'm a little busy, you know. And your friends want to hear about it too, but it's like when you guys go out or like, you know, like, oh, let's have a little vent sesh, like, you know. But it's not like an everyday thing. With the partner, it's like an everyday thing. They want to know about you like every single day. And I just think it would be great like to have a partner, but it's just like it's not realistic for me to have one right now. Also, I know how I mentioned that it's like I want to finish my career and whatnot. I should be finishing it by this December. I was supposed to finish last December, but unfortunately I failed my class. And you know, that's a part of life. Like there's gonna be a lot of failures, and that's something that they don't tell you. Like they expect you to finish school in 4 years, and I'm talking about college. They expect you to finish college in 4 years, and it's like realistically for a lot of us that's not reality. Like stop saying that college is a 4-year thing, because it's not. One, and I'll make a whole entire like rant about it, which I would love to have a podcast, because that would be so freaking amazing to also have one and like just continuously rant about things. But not only rant, but bring in people like to my podcast and have them like talk about it, which I feel like this is very podcasty. I'm just sitting here talking, ranting. This is something that I wanted to do, but I'm like, it's not aesthetically pleasing and I look like fucking garbage. Like, you know what? I don't fucking care, bitch. I don't fucking care. This is reality. We don't always look face tuned up the culo. Like, we don't always look so freaking cute. Like, that's not fucking reality. Like, I woke up today and I felt like fucking talking, so I'm gonna put up my camera and I'm gonna talk about it. Like, you know, like, why is society always like being like, no, you have to show like the pretty carita? Like, it's not always like that. Like, this is real. Like, this is real and raw. And like, yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked. But anyways, yeah, college and university have been such a pain in my ass, which I could like literally rant about it for an entire hour. But I'm gonna give you the rundown of like what's going on right now. I'm trying to apply for graduation, because I am graduating, and it's really difficult. Like, I know that for like a lot of people it's like, oh my god, like you've been going to school for this long and I don't know what. And it's like, first of all, because of comments like that, there's a lot of people that just give up on college. That they're like, nah, you know what, like I'm never gonna make it, because like, you know, like, and it's kind of like you look kind of stupid if you're not like working in an amazing job by the time you're like 26 and whatnot. And they make you feel like if you're like this complete and utter failure. And I'm like, half of y'all did not even go to college. Half of y'all did not even go to university. So I don't understand why you feel this need to be like, well, you haven't finished. You haven't finished. And I'm like, well, at least I'm gonna finish. Unlike you. And even then, like, I don't, for some people, college is not even an option. Or it's not like what they want. Like, everybody has a different path. For me, it's always been, and it has always been on my mind that I wanted to do college, and that I wanted to do university, just because I didn't see myself doing something else. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with my stupid ideology as a child and always my depression, that I wasn't gonna make it past 18. Like, I don't know why I thought that by 18 I was gonna plop dead. Like, I don't know, I don't understand how that mentality was there for like so long. And then when I turned 19, I was so fucking lost in the world. I was like, wait, I need to get a job, wait, I'm in university, what's going on? Like, it was like literally like if you went to sleep at the age of 12 and then open your eyes and you were already 20 and you were like, I have to catch up on all this nonsense because my mind decided to shut down for these many years. And it's like, a lot of people don't get that, and a lot of people don't know that about me. And I'm gonna bump up the lighting because it's super cloudy outside and I feel like y'all can see me. But anyways, yeah, that'll be that. I could like rant about forever too. It's just that is so mind-blowing to me, how like the brain works. But yeah, I have no degree, I have no career, and I'm 26, and that is okay. I am about to graduate. My plan was to graduate when I was 24, 23. Didn't graduate. Shit happens. My mental health got in the way, which a lot of people don't know that, but I did step down like a total of like 2.5 years because of my mental health issues, and then also for financial issues. So like them together made like 1.5 years of when I had to step down of school. And I feel like people shouldn't shame other people for like not finishing, or being like, have you heard, like, she hasn't even finished, or have you heard, she's barely graduating. It's like, you don't know their situation, you shouldn't be talking about it. And I feel like that's something that teachers don't tell you either. And I constantly say teachers because there's a lot of us that our parents did not go to university. Our parents just worked, and that's all that they knew. That's all that they could do. And therefore, it's not their fault, you know, it's not their fault that they weren't able to teach you something that they didn't know. But yeah, I feel like if people are shaming you in your life and being like, girl, you haven't finished, or they're shaming of you because you don't have a boyfriend and you don't have an established relationship, fuck them. It's not their life that they're living, it's yours. And if you don't want it, you don't want it. And if you do want it, then date. And I know that that's really, really hard, because that's another thing for me, which I will make an entire segment about it. You know what, I'm gonna write it down, the reasons why I don't date. But dating is really, really hard. I don't understand why people make it seem like just put yourself out there. And I'm like, bitch, I'm hanging on by a thread. What makes you think that I could deal with somebody stepping on my heart? Like, what in God's name? Because men love to play games. And I'm saying men because I only know about, like, you know, the heterosexuals, and the straights, and I also know that for like gay people, it's really, really hard too. Like, it's very, very hard to date within the LGBT community, and I know because like my friends are LGBT, but they are like, girl, it's not easy, and if you're not hitched by like the age of 25, then you're never getting hitched. Like, it's just the way it is in the community, and I don't know what. And I'm like, oh my god, like, that is fucking crazy. Like, it's really, really hard to date. So I feel like that's another thing. Like, it's like they start making it seem like you're a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, people start making it seem like there's something wrong with you. It's like, oh, you don't have a boyfriend? Oh, you're probably needy. Or you're a psycho. One of those two. Like, you are something else. Like, there's something must be wrong with you, you know? So I think that has been like really, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's rubs me the wrong way when they're like, todavía no tienes novio? You still don't have a boyfriend? And I'm just like, no. But in this case, I choose not to. And also because I don't date. Because therefore, again, I don't want to. And therefore, again, everything I just explained to you guys. You guys can put A, B, C, and D together. Yeah, and then another thing is that in my culture, you live in your house, like in your parents' house, until you get married, especially if you're a girl. That whole like getting to know each other, let's live together first before we get married. Not in the Mexican household, baby. Not in the Mexican household. That is something that we don't do. That is something that it's like looked down upon, which personally I'm not gonna get married to somebody that I have not lived with. Let me just break it to you. Sorry, mom and dad. I am so sorry, pero no. Like, I'm not about to get married and get divorced because I didn't live with this person. So yeah, that whole ideology is the ideology of a Mexican. So therefore, it's never been like a shame that I still live at my house. But I personally, my American side, I'm like more of like, shit, I should have already moved out like a long time ago. How the hell am I gonna do this? This is super hard. Da 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 da. And it's like, it's not easy. A. 2, I've been in school. 3, I've tried moving out, but my parents are telling me like, hey, like if you're gonna move across the other side of the world, why don't you just save up that money, stay here, no one's like telling you to leave, nobody's bothering you, why don't you just save up the money, save up that money, and next year you'll move out. Like there's no point for you to be like, you know, like leaving and whatnot. And in retrospect, they're kind of right. Like there's no point of me leaving. So therefore that's why I still live with my parents. I'm 26 and there's no tea, no shade. Like if you are like working and you're like, you know, your parents are able and you're not just like taking advantage of your parents, because let me tell you, there's a lot of people that do take advantage. But I feel like in your 20s is like the rockiest of all your fucking life. Well, that's what I've heard, you know, but everybody's path is different. Your 30s might be the hardest, your 20s might be the hardest. Shit, your teens might be the hardest. For me, it's been my 20s, the transition of going from a child that's taken care of and like you don't really have to worry about much, and you know, you only focus on school, and you know, the bills are paid and you don't have payments and whatnot, that to going to being an adult, having to like deal with your mental health issues, plus not letting that be, or you can't even make it like, oh, like I can't come in today, I have a lot of anxiety. It's like, haha, funny, get your ass inside. Like nobody cares, like nobody gives a fuck. And that is so sad because mental health is real. And what makes you think that I'll perform at 100% when I'm having like a full-blown anxiety attack? And it's like, and they're like, if you can't handle that, well then you're getting fired. It's like, fuck, like you have to. Growing up is not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. I don't know who made it. Who made you think that? I don't know why people make it seem like, oh, it's gonna be so easy. You're gonna work. You're gonna go to school and then you're gonna find your own apartment. That's not true. That's not how it works. Especially not in this economy. Let me tell you one thing. When our parents were younger, they had it a lot easier. For us, oh my god. Like for us, it's like, it's statistically speaking, like it's like 1,000 times worse, because there's like the rent is ridiculous, the minimum wage is motherfucking ridiculous. Like the fact that like we're in my area where I live, the minimum wage is $7.25, yet the houses, like in order to buy a house, like the houses are around between the lowest you go, it's like $250K. That's where they start. How am I gonna get a house with a $7.25? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost impossible for a person that did not go to college. And even then, if you did go to college, finding a job is hard. So, life is hard. Okay, so, and I know it sounds like me complaining about things, but it's not me complaining about things. It's me like telling you, if you're in my shoes and you're 26 and still living at home, it is okay. Life is not easy, and we'll get through it. Like, I planned that before, but my goal is like before 27, I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here by my 27th birthday. I will refuse to be here at my 27th birthday. I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be out. So that was today's rant. I just had that like bottled up. I know that it's a lot of very wishy-washy stuff, but these are just like my mental rants. Like, it helps me, like, it's like my mental diary. So yeah, like, if you guys are going through the same thing, please let me know down below. If you feel the same way, if you agree, if you disagree, please let me know down below. And yeah, and if you're older, did this happen to you or did it not? Like, I would love to know. But anyways, this is my story. This is my, like, my situation. I feel like there's a lot of things that I could truly go into depth and make an entire video on it, which I definitely will. I will put things on a podcast, and if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about on here on my rants, then let me know down below, like I did mention. But I will eventually elaborate more on like these rants in like a podcast, because I feel like there's so many things that you could go into depth. Like, why is it so hard for like a millennial? And that's another thing. This whole like concept of millennial and Gen Z and being like in between of it, it's like fucking with my head, because I feel like I'm right smack in between. I'm not too millennial, but then I'm not too Gen Z. Like, I'm just in between. I don't consider myself a millennial, and I don't consider myself a Gen Z. And that's another thing. Being what's it called? Zillennial is fucking annoying. It is. So anyways, also, like, sometimes I feel old. Like, I turned 26 and I feel old when I shouldn't. Like, I'm still young, but the world and society makes me feel old. So anyways, that's a whole other topic. But like I just mentioned, I will eventually start a podcast. Why did I just sing that? What the fuck is wrong with me? I'll eventually start a podcast, and I'll elaborate on a lot of things. If there's things that you guys want me to elaborate on, let me know down below, like I did mention. And if you guys want me to talk about a specific topic, then let me know down below. But anyways, this tired old grandma, this old 26-year-old is gonna head out. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.